This is Gail Kovac for Gresham Barlow School District. This is summer school, high school credit recovery, Algebra 1A, learning target number 7. I can use slope-intercept form to graph linear equations. So previously we gave you a line and you had to find the slope. That's the rate of change of the line, how steep it was. So in this case, we're going backwards. We're going to, in fact, give you the whole equation for the line, including the slope, and you have to draw where that line would go. So there's a couple things that you need to know here. The first thing that we see here, the multiplier of x, that is your slope. If you don't see a sign, a negative sign in front, then it is implied to be positive. So this line has a slope of up to forward 3. That's how you get from one point to the next. All right, up 2 and forward 3, but where do I start? This second number right here in your equation is exactly where you start. This is called your y-intercept. It is the constant, and it tells you where on the y-axis to start. So my y-intercept says start at -2 on the y-axis. That would be right here. So that is my first point at -2. Now your slope, that is the coefficient of x here, will tell you how to get to the next one. And you only need 2 points to draw a line. So let's find one more. The y-intercept already gave my first one. So my slope now says to get to the next point, I'm going to go up 2 and to the right 3. Up 2, 1, 2, and to the right 3. 1, 2, 3. There's my next point. And now I'm going to draw a nice pretty line through that, and that's it. So you need your slope, which we talked about before, but new thing is that y-intercept that tells you where to start to graph your point. All right, let's try the next one. I can already see where my slope is. That coefficient of x, the number in front, is -6. Wait a minute, it's not a ratio. It's not a fraction. I know that I need to go down 6, but how much do I go over? How do you turn any number into a fraction? You put it over 1. There's an invisible divisor of +1 there. +1. So your slope is down 6 to the right 1. I'm going to write slope here to be helpful. Slope. Down 6 to the right 1. That's how I'll get from one point to the next. But where do I start? Aha, that second number tells you where to start on the y-axis. That is a y-intercept of -2. Oh, same number again. Okay, that's interesting. All right, so that is where I'm going to start on the y-axis. Now to get to the next point, I'm going to go down 6 and over 1. Down 6 and to the right 1. So let's give that a try. All right, down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Uh-oh, I run out of space. I mean, I know this coordinate plane keeps going on down forever here. Look at that arrow, but I don't know how to do that off the grid. You know what? I'm going to go backwards instead. So instead of going down 6 to the right 1, I'm going to go up 6 and to the left 1. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And instead of forward 1, I'm going to go backwards 1. That's where another point is. Gosh, it looks like it's such a steep line. No wonder I couldn't graph it. It's going to be like down here somewhere. Something like that. So if you find that you start going off the graph, what you can do is just use the slope instructions going backwards to find a point that does actually happen to be on the section of the coordinate plane that you've been given. As long as you can find one other point, you have defined the line, and it's, oh, that looks kind of cruddy, but it's that one. That looks a little better. It was that one right there. It just happened to be so steep that I couldn't go down 6 and forward 1 without going off of the grid. So 2 things to graph a line. You need the starting point. That constant at the back that does not have the x attached is your y-intercept, tells you where to start on that vertical axis. And then your slope, that coefficient of x, that will tell you directions how to get to another point. Whether you follow the directions forwards or backwards depends on where you are on the plane and if you have room to move in that direction. And don't forget, if you see it as a whole number, you can always put it as just a +1 to turn that into the traditional slope ratio that you need.